Hi everyone, I am making this video to raise awareness about the standards set on social media through the use of social media, specifically in terms of beauty, the beauty standards that are set on social media, and how they often, unfortunately, impact us in very negative ways and affect our emotional, psychological, mental state, and just create overall dissatisfaction in our lives. We see the studies that have come out that have associated, use of social media with increased depression, increased anxiety, increased dissatisfaction with how one looks or how one's body looks. And this isn't a coincidence. This is a reflection of how we are using social media. We are not using social media in a conscious way. We are using it in a very unconscious way, and it's becoming detrimental to our health. The first thing that I wanted to do was just show how the standards set on social media through their filters, their fun and cute filters that they make available to people, how this sets a standard, and it's making people dissociate from how they actually look, so that when they see a picture of themselves without a filter, they're dissatisfied and they're craving the version of that picture that is filtered. And this is extremely unhealthy because it's just sort of normalizing insecurity with one's natural appearance. So I'm gonna put up a natural selfie I took, and then I'm gonna show the filtered selfies. And yeah, as you can see, these selfies change my skin tone, they smooth my blemishes out, my dark circles, they make my lips bigger, they make my nose narrower, they change my bone structure a little bit, highlight, higher cheekbones and maybe a smaller chin. They changed my eyes to look a different way. And yeah, we have completely normalized setting this as our standard. And now I so often see women critiquing their photos so much. And it's based on these standards that are set through these filters that aren't real. And it's very unfortunate because it's, like I was saying earlier, just dissociating people from how they look and making them dissatisfied with how they look and convincing them that they need to change something about their appearance in order to be seen as beautiful. I am going to read from an article published by the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology. Quote, "These filters and editing features have significantly changed the perception of beauty worldwide. People can now devote substantial time to idealizing their photographs in order to project an often unrealistic self-image. The new reality is that people often post an optimized and curated self in a highlight reel of their life. Sociocultural theories on body image contend that messaging through media has had a profound effect on how individuals view standards of beauty. It is well documented that exposures to idealized body images from television or magazines can lead to body dissatisfaction and/or disordered eating. Whereas body and facial morphing tools were once only within the purview of beauty editors and graphic designers, they are now at anyone's fingertips. No longer are these modalities reserved for fashion models or movie stars. Additionally, social media offers immediate feedback, adding to the culture of constant review and criticism. The inexorable cycle of sharing personal content and receiving feedback may exacerbate adverse effects on body image and psychological health. A recent study confirmed that those who manipulated their photographs prior to sharing them on social media reported greater dissatisfaction with body image and disordered eating. Despite it being nearly impossible to look like filtered selfies, people often go to great lengths to emulate their idealized images. Social media has started to influence individual decisions to undergo aesthetic procedures, and patients have even begun to bring in filtered selfies to demonstrate their desired appearance. So what this unconscious use of social media is doing to people is making them develop a form of body dysmorphic disorder, which is on the obsessive compulsive spectrum. And people who suffer from body dysmorphic disorder will obsess over their appearance or a certain part of their appearance that they perceive as a defect or a flaw, and then they'll think about it for, at least 1 hour a day, if not more. And this is affecting 1 in 50 Americans, and I think it's only going to increase with the consumption of social media from an unconscious place, especially among adolescents and young adults who are not making the connection that these images that they're seeing on their social media feeds are not accurate representations of reality. People are showing the best version of themselves, and unfortunately to a lot of people, the best version of themselves is an edited version of themselves, a picture of themselves that they have put a filter on, or they have, curated to make it look a certain way because they're dissatisfied with their own appearance. And it's really just not healthy to be looking at Instagram and other media as though it is an accurate reflection of. I think we need to ask ourselves, as a society who is contributing to a culture, we need to ask ourselves how much we truly value appearance. Because in my opinion, and this is my opinion, we have over-glorified appearance to the point where people literally get their worthiness and their value as a human being through how they look, when this is just, it's not okay. And it's not okay to be raising children with this mindset that how you look matters this much. It's unfortunate because people say, well, looks do matter that much, I'll get a better job, I'll get more attention if I look this way. And it's like, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. That means there's something wrong with everyone else for making appearance matter that much to us and society. And I just think we need to reevaluate our priorities, honestly, because to see this many people dissatisfied with how they look is honestly just heartbreaking, and it shows how much of a priority we've put on appearance over who we are on the inside, and how much that matters, or how kind we are, how generous we are, how strong and brave we are. Like, these are not things that we care about. We're literally making it as though your appearance is what will get you success, and it's just messed up. Social media can be used to share the best version of ourselves, and it's okay to be a social media user who does that. It's okay to leave out the trauma and the ugly parts and the extremely personal aspects of our lives we don't want our followers to know about, or we don't think is relevant, trendy, or worthy of sharing. I think there is an intuitive understanding among most people why we would rather live our best lives on social media and leave out the gritty details of personal struggles. We may even think, why would anyone care or want to know about the dark, ugly, confusing things that I'm going through? And deep down inside, I think many fear being rejected if they display the truest version of themselves on social media. There has become a culture of competition on social media, similar to reality in some aspects, where we are concerned about our follower count, how many likes and favorites we get, how much approval we have from others, and how much our lives can look as good or imitate the people that we follow and like. This is how the competitive atmosphere is maintained, and this, of course, will include the way that we look, if that's something that we care about, which it's not really debatable whether society as a whole cares about looks. Society definitely cares about appearance and looks. I remember being a little girl and judging my looks and being surrounded by people who also judged their looks and judged other people's looks, and not from a place of simply observing, but with intense scrutiny and opinions. And it's really become so normalized to critique people's appearances as if appearance matters so much rather than who someone is under their appearance. Unfortunately, our looks and appearances, which I feel social media has brought a whole new meaning to, is something we immensely care about, to the point where we often experience social media as though it is a giant judging contest. And we form opinions and belief systems through a lens of what I'm seeing on my screen is an accurate reflection of reality. And then we judge ourselves and others according to the assumptions we make about people, places, and things, based on the information we've gathered through social media. And I think there's a huge aspect of personal responsibility when it comes to using social media, because a lot of people are using social media unconsciously, and they're not recognizing that more often than not, the people that they're following are choosing to curate a profile based on the best version of themselves, or the self that will appease public preference. So it's not really accurate. It's not always an accurate reflection of reality, and it's not really fair for us to hold ourselves to any sort of standard that is set on social media. I think that personal preferences and public preferences can start to mix when a culture of competition has become dominant. And what I mean by this is that oftentimes we start to conform to certain groups or society's definition of what is deemed successful, acceptable, better, worthy of praise, instead of truly asking ourselves if it's something that we want, rather than something society wants of us. And I know there is such a thing as healthy competition, but I think that healthy competition rests within oneself, and it has to do with consciously choosing to better oneself and your health through changing your thoughts, behaviors, choices, and actions through an encouraging and loving perspective, rather than a hateful and disgraced, disgusted, hateful perspective. Because then it's not healthy anymore. You're trying to meet standards that don't resonate with your own standards, and that's why it's not healthy competition anymore. And the standard that we hold ourselves to in terms of appearance, especially in the United States, is ridiculous in my opinion. We've completely normalized scrutinizing and critiquing people's looks when outside of things like personal hygiene and health, society's perception on appearances have put an unrealistic and unhealthy prioritization on physical attraction. That's what's most prioritized, not health, wellness, hygiene, taking care of yourself in just basic ways, but physical attraction. How physically attractive are you by society's definition? And this kind of competition among us humans leaves us feeling constantly unsatisfied because we don't feel we have met that best version of ourselves idea in terms of looks, and this is amplified through social media. And it's why the beauty industry is worth so much money. And you're constantly seeking new products and new ways to fix how you're perceiving things about yourself that are wrong with how you look. And just ultimately comparing yourself to others in unhealthy ways and unrealistic, unfair ways to yourself that you shouldn't and you don't deserve to be comparing yourself to. I think that if we're going to accept that many people, majority of people, are using social media to advertise this best version of themselves, which is oftentimes digitally altered, edited, and curated specifically to look a certain way. If we're going to understand that this is what's happening, we need to be open about that conversation, especially with the younger generation, teens and adolescents and young adults who are using social media and feeling dissatisfied because they're going onto their social media feeds and thinking that the pictures that they're seeing and the videos that they're seeing are the whole story, the whole picture, that nothing is missing from the information that they're gathering from what they're consuming through the media. And we need to be educating not only children but just everyone that what you see on someone's profile is not always an accurate representation of their reality, both how they look, who they are as a person, what their life is like. It's very easy to manipulate a social media profile and make it look exactly how you want it to, and then other people will think that that's who you are. And yeah, I just think we need to have this conversation and bring awareness to this, that if you feel uncomfortable after using social media, or that you feel dissatisfied with yourself or how you look, you need to take that responsibility onto yourself and understand, okay, what's making me feel this way? Let me go unfollow the people who make me feel dissatisfied with my life and my body, and let me go follow people who encourage me to love myself and remind me what it means to be human, and maybe even show those ugly, chaotic, crazy parts of life, because it reminds me that it's okay when everything isn't going perfect in my life either, and that people aren't as perfect as they appear through the media. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with anyone you think it might help. And to anyone who is suffering from any form of body dysmorphic disorder, just know that there's people out there rooting for you, and that I know it doesn't seem this way, but there's much more wrong with the world around you than there is something wrong with how you look. And yeah, just, unfollow the people who make you feel uncomfortable in your own skin, and follow people who make you love yourself and make you want to celebrate your skin. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.